grab a hold of them, it's way past time. The women take over, join forces of voices, united chorus, it's way past time. The women take over, mothers and sisters, start your bulldozers, it's way past time. The women take over.
An interesting story about this jazz duo who played together for 10 years now. Although they both hail from Minnesota, they didn't meet until they got to Redding, California. We thank you, Cleveland and Bruce, for your musical tribute to our country today. My name is Valerie Anderson, and on behalf of the Democratic Central Committee of Shasta County, welcome to our very first, very virtual Shastapalooza benefit. You know, we've all had to adjust aspects of our lives over the last few months, and that includes how we get to know our candidates and the way that we support them. Of course, we'd rather be together here in Old City Hall, where we're sweaty with heat and happy with wine and collecting your checks in person. But there's a silver lining to our virtual gathering today, and that is the incredible musical talent you're going to be hearing, just like you heard, and the local candidates that we have for you. But first, we're going to take a moment to do something that's one of my favorite traditions at many North State gatherings, and that is a second to honor the land that we live on and the First Peoples with whom we share it. We're blessed to live in such a beautiful area on earth that gives so much to us. We ask that we can come together with the earth and with each other to bring peace, healing, and prosperity to this area. Amen. Let's take a moment while we're all here together to honor a trailblazer and a woman who has been a hero to so many, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. You know, as I was thinking after her passing, I remembered about heroes, and that many of our beloved heroes, once they leave this mortal earth, there are millions of others who are here to pick up the torch and the purpose for which they fought. So I want to pledge to Ruth Bader Ginsburg today that there are millions of us that will pick up your torch. Thank you for all the work you've done for us. Now I'm going to introduce to you our first guest speaker. It's California State Democratic Party Chair, Rusty Hicks. Rusty's background includes labor union activism and a passion for grassroots votes. He served as president of the LA County Federation of Labor, made up of over 300 labor unions, where his initiatives brought positive change to worker safety and diverse leadership. He also happened to be a very elegant piano player. You should check out his Facebook page. Please welcome Chairman Hicks.
Thank you, Valerie. Shasta County Democrats, I want to thank you for being here and thank you for your incredible support for three remarkable candidates: Audrey Denney, Pamela Swartz, Elizabeth Betancourt. Now, it's often been said that California's urban centers, like San Francisco and Los Angeles, hold a lot of sway in Sacramento and Washington, D.C. And we can debate that, but we can all agree that we need more representation from rural parts of California. And these three candidates embody that representation that we need. We all recognize the importance of the North State for both its beauty and its natural resources, which benefit all Californians. But I and the California Democratic Party see the North State as being much more. An opportunity to continue to expand the Democratic coalition and ground in our great state. You know, the motto of the Shasta County Democratic Party is "for the people." And these three candidates, both personally and in their campaigns, embody the best of that motto, advocating and being dedicated to, day in and day out, the things that matter to people the most. The ability to have a job, to provide for yourself and your family, to see a doctor when you're sick, to educate your children, to drink clean water and breathe clean air, and to be safe in your own communities. And I'm so incredibly proud of all of you that have put your collective shoulder to the wheel to ensure that we have their voices in the halls of power in Sacramento and in Washington, D.C. Now, lastly, I also understand that there is another amazing resource in great supply in the North State, and that is talented musicians. And we're lucky to be able to hear many of them today. As a poor excuse of a musician myself, and I certainly want to take a moment to thank the Shasta Dems for posting my pandemic piano pickings on their YouTube channel. I'm really looking forward to hearing these great, incredible performances today. So on behalf of the California Democratic Party, I simply want to say, welcome to Shastapalooza. Stay safe, be well, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Chairman Hicks, for kicking off our Shastapalooza benefit today. You're right, we do have an amazing wealth of musical talent up here in the North State, and I know if you're watching, you're going to be tapping your feet or maybe jumping off the couch to bust a move today. I promise. But first, I'd like to introduce to you our first candidates. You know, living up here in the North State, sometimes it's easy to feel left out because Los Angeles or Sacramento or San Francisco get all of the money and the attention. That's why I'm excited about the 3 women who want to represent us. I know, without a doubt, they're going to be the squeaky wheel that gets the grease for us. Introducing our first candidate is Redding Rancheria CEO Tracy Edwards and Tribal Chair Jack Potter.
Hi, my name is Tracy Edwards. I'm a tribal member of the Redding Rancheria, and I'm also the CEO for the tribe. We are here today to tell you how excited we are to endorse Elizabeth Betancourt for her candidacy. Elizabeth has done a great job. She has been coming and meeting with the Tribal Council. Elizabeth is very well aware of the unique issues that tribal governments face, and her background in environmental issues has been very helpful in her candidacy. So we're very excited the Tribal Council meets with her on a regular basis, and they wholeheartedly support Elizabeth, and Elizabeth has unequivocally been supportive of our tribe, so we are very excited for her candidacy, and I have to point out that it's very great that she's a woman, and I can't help but shout out to those women candidates. So we are very excited today, and we want to tell you all to vote for Elizabeth.
Good afternoon. I'm Jack Potter Jr. I'm the tribal chairman of the tribe, and I'm also a tribal member. But I would like to speak to a Native American vote. We are a vote. We count. And sometimes our vote actually is the deciding factor in a lot of elections. We have candidates, and a lot of the candidates forget that the Native Americans exist. But Elizabeth knows about the Native Americans. She always comes and seeks assistance and stuff, guidance from Tribal Council on certain issues. And so I'm proud that we're able to endorse her. But just remember, everybody out there, if you have a Native American tribe within your area, go to them. Speak with the Tribal Council, get assistance from them. And remember, we are Native, our vote counts, our voice is heard. So get out and vote 2020.
I vote and I count.
I vote and I count.
Thank you so much, Tracy and Chairman Potter. I am just so grateful for the Get Out the Vote effort that you are putting into with the tribe and with the community. Your community work is so deeply valued here in Shasta County and beyond. And I'm super excited to be here with Valerie and my dear husband, Pedro. Many of you know him from our formerly live events. He doesn't make too many appearances on Zoom anymore, but we're really excited to be here as a small portion of our physically distanced, COVID-safe interactions at Shastapalooza today. So thank you so much, Valerie.
We're really happy to have you here with us today, Elizabeth. It's nice to feel that live vibe. You know, some of the questions, there's a lot going on right now, and one of the things that our watchers wanted to know is, what do you see as the most important issue you need to tackle when you first get to Sacramento?
You know, what I hear most often, especially right now, as we've been experiencing so many smoke days, and Pedro has a lot to say about what that's done on the farm, but wildfire, absolutely, number one priority. We are at a point where we can make a real difference because there's momentum in moving towards wildfire,
right.
And forest management, actively doing something with that slash, like biomass energy, et cetera. But yeah, the smoke does more than just hurt our health. Pedro has a lot to say about how it works on the farm too.
Well, yeah, so currently on the farm, the summer peak season is just about done, but what's really accelerated the decline is all of the smoke. We had a few days where there was little to no direct sunlight, hitting the plants for photosynthesis,
right.
And as a result, Our tomato plants are done, our zucchini and cucumbers, so the real staples of the summer season are just about done. And of course, those of us that have to be out there tending to all of this, we feel like we're just about done too.
Yeah.
And sometimes being out there, I think to myself, well, we're suffering the way we are. Where are all the masks for the birds and the bees and the
plants,
butterflies and
so really. Totally. It's been a struggle for sure. And Pedro working out there and the help that we've had out there is great, but not if it permanently damages their health. So we know that addressing forest health means that our entire state benefits.
So what is one thing that needs to be done that our state legislature needs to do to improve our forest health?
So I think number one, we have to get more management on the ground. So we have to put more dollars behind forest management, and we have to use those policy tools that are already out there to actually get people on the ground. We have stewardship agreements to help federal and state managers work together to manage those federal and state lands and private lands. They're just not used. I think the last time I looked, which was last year, but there was a single stewardship agreement in the entire state. That's when that tool is out there and so potentially beneficial to us, we've got to be using it.
Can you explain a little bit about what a stewardship policy is?
Sure. So that is the process by which federal and state land managers can work together, and in many cases it's stakeholders on the ground can work together to create a forest management plan, most often on national forests, but of course through the Good Neighbor Authority, that work can be done on private and state lands as well, to give the managers of logging companies, timber management companies, long-term contracts so that they can invest in people, they can invest in infrastructure, they can make sure that they have the resources for a long-term commitment to land management, because that takes money. So we have to be sure they can do that.
That's interesting. I didn't know those kinds of mechanisms were in place.
Absolutely.
Another thing that's a big concern to us up here in the North State, that is water. Can you tell us a little bit about what your plans are for water policy for the North State?
Yeah, absolutely. I was just actually talking with some folks this last week. We live out in Happy Valley here in Shasta County, which is why we get to be live here today. And we've got a water rate increase that is proposed. It's not real yet, but it's going to increase our bill
by about 1,000%.
Yeah,
wow.
Huge increases in our water bill. And in a lot of ways, that is due to some federal actions that were just taken just in the last few years. And so we want to be sure that we can protect our water resources using the laws and statutes that we have here in California, which for us is the area of origin law. So that's a California State Constitution statute that means that the areas of origin, so our watersheds, where water comes from, are always protected in terms of future water use and allocation. So if we have updated planning documents, that's general plans, that's city and community plans, we can say, we expect, while we may not be using all of these acre feet right now, we expect we will be using those in 2050 and beyond, 2100. And so we want to retain those water resources to make sure we can serve our communities up here. That's in statute, but it's never been tested. So making sure that we can make that more robust to protect our rural communities is definitely a priority for me.
That's excellent. Thank you so much.
Totally.
We appreciate that. So if you have a chance to tell our viewers today what you're excited about, why you want to represent them, what would you say?
Well, and actually, Pedro and I had been talking a little bit about what my running for office and being a candidate means for us, and I don't know if you'd like to say anything about that, but I will say that what drives me to be a representative for this region is the fact that we haven't received investment commensurate with our value to the state of California for decades. I see it with my own eyes, you do, we breathe it. So I know that I would be an effective representative. I'm a member of the supermajority party. You're watching Shastapalooza. We're all about Democrats here. And I am knowledgeable, and I've been active in legislative arenas for years. But I don't know if you wanted to add anything, Pedro. I don't want to put you on the spot there.
Yeah, I do kind of feel a little on the spot, but I'm all for it. I love that Elizabeth is wanting to do this. I'm very proud of her, as difficult as it is now and will probably be if she gets elected. I support her wholeheartedly, and I'm not going to stand in her way. Yeah.
I appreciate that. It has been a process. Campaigning, even under COVID restrictions, is really challenging.
Sure.
And so we appreciate that we can be here live and appreciate that you all are watching. And please, please supporting our Democratic Central Committee. Shasta DCC has done so much for my campaign last year in the special election and this year in the general election. So please support your DCC. I believe there's an Act Blue button right below that makes it very easy for you to donate. You support me that way, you support Audrey, you support Pamela, and all of these amazing volunteers and local businesses that the DCC supports as well. So thank you, Valerie.
We're happy to be able to support you, Elizabeth. We look forward to sending you to Sacramento.
Woo.
So make sure you click on that Act Blue button sometime today. We're going to go to Ed for a minute and listen to see what kind of donations we've got so far.
Well, thank you, Valerie. This is Ed in the control room. I've been watching the donations come in. We're about 20 minutes into our broadcast so far, and we've already made $550.
Excellent.
So thank you for all those who've already contributed. And if you're watching on your mobile phone, like many of us are, click the Learn More button in order to access our Act Blue link. So thank you so much for your donations. Back to you, Valerie.
Great. Yes, we do thank you for those donations. They're going to make a difference, I promise. Thank you for being with us, Elizabeth. I know she's going to be a squeaky wheel. Don't you agree?
Yes, ma'am.
I think so. We're going to shift a little bit, and we're going to have some music from our local folk artist, Jonathan Foster, with a song for the times.
Hey, Jonathan Foster here. Make sure you get out and vote November 3rd. And thanks for tuning in to this fundraiser. This is called The Women Takeover. It was 10 years after the summer of love. My whole world centered on my mother's touch. Women taught me to read, taught me to swim, taught me math, science, creative writing. But now we're here at the crossroads again. What's so funny about kindness, grace, and compassion? Your chances, it's time to move over. It's way past time. The women take over. Here are the reins. Please grab a hold of them. It's way past time. The women take over. We're in different worlds here on the same planet. Inequality grows. You want to throw the last stone to fight the fire with fire, leaving everyone burned. We demand better, we demand smarter. It's time for cool heads to deal a vote for change. Love over gold for the rich and the poor. Be a hero like Rachel Carson, Maya Angelou, Ani DeFranco, Megan Rapinoe. Grab a hold of them, it's way past time. The women take over, join forces of voices, united chorus. It's way past time. The women take over, mothers and sisters, start your bulldozers. It's way past time. The women take over.
Thank you to Jonathan Foster for that great song. And that title really could be the theme for today's show, The Women Take Over. I'm Jenny Abbey, chair of the Shasta County Democrats. We rural Democratic committees are in the fight of our lives, not just to restore sanity and functionality to government, but to halt the destruction of climate change, beat the virus, expand healthcare for all, build back an economy that creates new jobs and training based on sustainability, and finally, realize the promise of justice for all. That really does sound like a job for a bunch of tough women, doesn't it? But winning elections takes resources. The Shasta County Dems don't just endorse candidates, we support them on the campaign trail in many ways and work to get out the vote. I hope listening to their energy and commitment will inspire you to hit that donate button to help us elect them. As Valerie said, we deserve better representation in Sacramento and DC, something we haven't had for a very long time. Instead, we rely on legislators and leaders from other parts of California and around the country to understand the challenges of rural voters. One of those leaders is State Senator Hannah-Beth Jackson of Ventura and Santa Barbara counties. Senator Jackson's district has, like us, experienced devastating fires. Like us, her district includes key agricultural areas. And this year, she was named Legislator of the Year by the Rural County Representatives of California for her work in the Senate to prevent wildfires. She knows and understands our issues. And boy, wouldn't she love to have an ally like Pamela Swartz in her camp. Please welcome a dear friend and an amazing advocate for California, State Senator Hannah-Beth Jackson.
Well, thank you, Jenny. I am really honored to be here and to help kick off this event. You know, in my conversations with Pamela Swartz, it was very clear that she is the voice that you need in Sacramento to represent the interests of the rural counties of our great state, and certainly the areas in the 1st District. Pamela really gets this as a native of the area and someone with a degree in forest management and forestry. This is who we need and someone who will be listened to in Sacramento. I think that's really important. She has the credibility, she's got the experience, the education to be a strong voice for the people of the community. Now, I've worked with her and talked with her on a number of the issues that she is bringing forward, including fighting wildfires. This is a terrible scourge on our communities. And as we see the increase in climate warming and these horrific fires that are just racing through our state and having an enormous impact on our economy and our environment and our quality of life, it's someone like Pamela we need, because she will be a voice listened to and respected. That's a key. She's also committed to bringing more resources to the community. She's also got a plan in terms of making sure that we have greater accessibility in rural California to things like broadband, to educational opportunities. You know, this horrific pandemic has given us an opportunity to realize the potentials associated not only with rural living, but with having access to telecommunications, access to telemedicine, an issue really important and in desperate need up in the counties where she is running, up in your community as part of our great state. And certainly it's really been fun to get to know her. I think she brings and will bring a tremendous voice, a creative voice, a competent voice, a credible voice to the people of the district. And I really hope you will support her, that you will help by contributing to her campaign. And let's hear the voice of rural California today, tomorrow, and in the future. You deserve it. Thanks.
My name is Pamela Swartz, and I'm running for State Senate in District 1. I was born in California. My dad was in the Air Force, and we moved around a lot. I went through junior high and high school in Redding. We don't have a four-year university, so I went down to the Bay Area and went to Berkeley. In 1989, I started my skincare company, and we've treated literally thousands and thousands of people. Living in the Bay Area for all those years, I wanted to move back up to a more rural area. I wanted to be closer to the earth. I wanted to be in the trees. I wanted to be with people who stop by and they ask you what's for dinner. Part of, I think, a human experience, it's something that we've gotten away from a lot, is being more connected to nature and appreciating the little things and slowing the pace down. I want to have time to ride my horses. I want to be able to have time to enjoy my life. And I want to help people. We can do really well with very little here. And I think that that's been a result actually of being sort of forgotten. It's a little toughness. It's a little tough can-do sort of perseverance. And I think that's me. Every human being has a value. Everybody deserves to be treated with respect. And I want to bring that down to the state capitol and demand that of other legislators and make sure that we take care of the people here in our district. I think people are starting to realize that the representation that we've been having in our district has not been beneficial at all. We have a lot of small businesses and people in our communities that are not getting the support that they need. We don't have physical access to healthcare facilities. We don't have affordable health care. We don't have the internet and broadband. We don't have a four-year university in our district. We don't have the attention paid to us. I really feel like we don't have anybody who's really seriously fighting for us. I'm not doing this to make money. I'm not doing this to be famous. I'm doing this because I want to represent you.
Wow, thank you, Senator Jackson, for that fantastic introduction. I'm so bummed that you're termed out because I would love to work with you in the state Senate and really push forward for some common rural issues that we all suffer here in the North State. So I am Pamela Swartz. I am running for State Senate District 1, as you've heard. And I also want to say thank you, before I get started too much, to the Shasta Dems for all their hard work and all their effort. You guys rock. You've been helping us so much, and I really, really appreciate it. And I can say that all of the candidates really appreciate all of you, so thank you. I think that one of the big things I want to get across here in this discussion, this video, is that I am not a politician. In fact, I would actually call myself a volunteer and more of your neighbor type person. I am definitely not a politician. I have never, ever run for any political office, but I couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't take the inequality. I couldn't take what's happening when you look outside into our wonderful, beautiful forests here in the North State. I can't take the housing situation, the healthcare situation. So I really wanted to get involved and do something, and here I am. So today I know I'd like to talk also a little bit about representation and what that means in terms of how it plays out here in our district. I have to say that the North State has been forgotten, not only at the state level, but also in the federal level. And that's a real issue. That's a big issue. You know, our district, and this state Senate district, is gigantic. It goes from the Oregon border all the way along the eastern side of California, all the way down into the El Dorado County, and then squishes that a little bit into the eastern portion of Sacramento. But it's a huge district. But did you know that it actually supplies 2/3 of California's drinking and agricultural water? I mean, we are the watershed of California. And being so, and also because our economy actually runs on water in California, you can't have an economy that doesn't have any water. So it's my contention that our California watershed, which is our North State, is absolutely imperative for the health of California's economy and our future economy. Now, nobody has to be, everybody has to know that we have an issue here with our climate. Nobody is blind to that. I mean, what we've just gone through the past month and a half, and hopefully we're on the tail end of all the wildfires. And there's no doubt that they are human caused. There is such a thing as climate change, although my opponent doesn't necessarily believe in it, at least based upon his voting records and his corporate donors. But anyhow, so we really have an issue here. And having grown up in the North State, living and grown up in Reading, should go Shasta Wolves, and then now living here in Nevada County, it's really important to me that we preserve and we protect what makes our North State so great. And that really is the great outdoors. We have beautiful forests and watersheds and lakes and streams. And a lot of us live in this area because we enjoy being outside and enjoying what nature has put out there for us. So climate change is something that I really, really want to go after. As a state senator, we can make policies to address the health of our forests. Now, mind you, most of our forests are federally run or owned. And so there is been recently a memorandum of understanding between California and the feds, and then a whole bunch of stakeholders, CAL FIRE, local consolidated fire groups, Firewise city councils, a whole bunch of people that have now realized, like, hey, we got to get serious. We absolutely must get serious. So that makes me happy, but we really need a representative, there's that word again, who goes into the state capitol, who understands that climate change is real and that we have a hand at it. So that is one thing I really want to go after. You'll hear me, I'm sure, time and time again, talk about biomass facilities, which our district is ripe to do. Biomass facilities, we can use the biomass that would otherwise be burning up and creating all this black carbon that we're all choking on and causing more greenhouse gas emissions that are causing more pollution in our environment, which is just causing the cycle just to get worse and worse in terms of the warming. So I'd like to be able to instigate and really push forward for biomass facilities in our district. I would like to do one every 100 miles because in reality, we have enough biomass, if you can believe it, to make that a 24/7 into perpetuity energy source, and right here in our North State. By doing that, we'll take out the understory that would go up in flames. We'll make our forests much more healthy, creating a lot more health in our watersheds as well, which will improve the quality and quantity of the type of water that we can collect and actually have land on our soil. And also it'll actually create new jobs and support existing jobs. If you consider that the Carr fire was about $15 to $16 billion in terms of loss, that does not include, of course, lives, which is very sad. But if you look at just the financials, and if you think about a biomass facility costing anywhere between $25 and $30 million, it's very, very possible to sprinkle in 30, 35 biomass plants in our district for the cost of $1 billion. What I want to say about the jobs is that we need to have a training program for folks that are now working in other industries to retrain them and train new people too, so they can enter the green economy. I think it's really, really important that our district have educational opportunities that would be pertinent to the jobs of the future, which are green technology, so that our students, like myself, I graduated from Shasta High School, and in order to go to college, a four-year school, I had to leave the district. I went to UC Berkeley, and I graduated in forestry, which I think is helpful also in terms of regard to climate change policy here in our state. But I really think that instead of exporting our kids, our youngsters, from our district, we need to give them opportunities here. So through technical training schools and career placement and planning, and also, of course, junior colleges, and then, of course, four-year university like a UC or a Cal State, which I would love, love, love to have actually in Reading. I think Shasta College is a perfect place to do it. Keep it as a JC, but then also add a four-year degree in some of the STEM stuff like science and the technology and engineering that we're going to need in order to move our economy forward. So these are just some of the things that I would like to really champion. And I think that it's very important for all of us to join forces together. If I can just take this moment to brag, our team is made up primarily of young Democrats. And when I say young, I mean we have 3 of them on our team that cannot vote today. one will be turning 18 to be able to vote on election day. But we have young progressive Democrats on our team, and it makes me very, very proud to have them with us. And so we need to activate the youth, because listen, if you guys vote, and I shouldn't say if, but when you vote, we will win. We will win, and you're voting for your future. We are voting for your future and all of our future. So when you vote, I want everybody to think who is going to best represent me. We don't take corporate money in our campaign at all. We rely 100% on grassroots and people funding, as you know. And so anything that you can do to help us out, that'd be great. And don't forget the Shasta DCC as well, because they're putting together all kinds of programs and helping us all out to hopefully cross the finish line on November 3rd. So make sure when you vote, you already know who you're going to vote for. Do your research and vote early. Get your vote in. Don't wait until November 3rd or November 1st. Get your ballot, fill it out, and drop it off so that you know that your vote is counted. So I just want to say thank you so much. The music has been great. I'm sure it will continue to be great. And I really, really, really appreciate all of you here today. And let's get this done. Let's get it done. So thank you so much.
Well, what do you think so far after hearing from two of our excellent candidates? Remember that your support makes their election possible, so be sure to utilize the link on the screen today and donate. Right now, though, I invite you to join some music from Reading artist sure to make her mark on the industry with her brutally honest talent, the remarkable Anna J.
I get home to relive my sins. My smile frowns when the news comes on. And I sing, hey, hey, what's going on? And then I question, why does power make us feel tall? When love is what conquers all, I get scared in this place. I love the color of every face. This world has got some peace to make. Oh yeah, we've got some peace to make. I try to see the good, but get so misunderstood. This world, it could be a better place. Oh yeah, we've got some peace to make. Don't fear the end, just ride through the turns and bends. You're a beautiful expression. Hey. Flowers are different, just as should be the case. So letting things go helps free your soul from the body it's caged in. Oh, I get scared in this place. And we won't last at this pace. The world is needing to be embraced. Oh, is it any wonder we got some peace to make? We got some peace to make. Ooh, and is it any wonder that the world could be a better place? Could be a better place.
That's some exceptional talent, Anna J. Thank you so much. We can't wait to see how your career takes off. Now we're going to go to Ed McCarthy and see how many people's utilized that donate button so far.
Well, thank you, Valerie. Well, people have been generous so far, and I am grateful for that. So far, we've taken in $1,850. Donations have come in from Reading, from Anderson, and as far away as Indiana. So thank you folks who keep giving. If you're watching on your mobile phone, you need to click the Learn More button in order to donate. Back to you, Valerie.
Great. Thank you, Ed. Thanks to each of you for donating today. I am proud to introduce another exceptional person, one of the first 2 Indigenous women ever elected to Congress, Deb Haaland. Representative Haaland's story is very inspiring. She comes from a military family with a father who served in the Marines in Vietnam and a mother who served in the Navy. She graduated from the University of New Mexico. She's owned her own business, and as a single mother, she made her way through law school. Today, she is vice chair of the Committee on Natural Resources and serves on several other committees and caucuses. This is a woman who doesn't know how to slow down. Please welcome Deb Haaland.
Thank you, Valerie, and thank you to all the Northern California Indian tribes involved in this event for giving me space to be here. I'm Deb Haaland, a very proud 35th generation New Mexican and honored to represent its 1st Congressional District. As one of the first 2 Native American women elected to Congress in our country's history, I am so pleased to endorse Audrey Denney for Congress and introduce her here during this amazing Shastapalooza. Audrey is the fierce fighter we all need in Congress, and I encourage all my Native relatives in Congressional District 1, California, to support and vote for her. She needs volunteers to help turn out the vote. Audrey has a background in farming and community development, so this is important in this rural district, and I'm happy to give her my enthusiastic support. Thank you so much for having me, and I am proud to turn this over to my future congressional colleague, Audrey Denney.
Bob couldn't harvest almonds without a tree shaker. And he's voting for me to shake up Congress. I'm Audrey Denney. If you've had enough of DC politicians that only serve their wealthy donors, then join me too. I'll get big money out of politics by banning corporate PACs and work with the North State, not special interests, to deliver better healthcare, schools, roads, and fire protection. I approve this message to do this to Washington. Thank you so much, Congresswoman, for that introduction. It is truly an honor. Friends, it has been a long time. I miss seeing your faces, and I look forward to the day that we can be again together in one room. But this evening, we are celebrating Shasta County, and we are raising money to support the Shasta County Democrats, and I could not be happier to be here this evening. First off, I just wanted to talk about the one thing that's probably been on my mind the most for the last month or so, and that is fire season. It's here. It's claiming lives, it's claiming property, and once again, while there are fires across the state, once again, our beautiful part of the world is getting hit with some of the hardest, worst fires in history. And there's a lot that goes in to creating a massive wildfire, and you all know that. We talk a lot about forest management and an overload of fuels, and we also talk about climate change, right? We talk about how our fire seasons are getting longer and our temperatures are getting higher, leading to more dry fuels, and we're seeing lightning storms in the time of the year we wouldn't normally. And so these conditions combined, along with many other complex factors, are creating these wildfires that are not only destroying homes and taking lives, but having a real impact on our economy, and having a health and safety air quality issue for not only our residents here in the 1st District, but people all over the state of California. And as we've been talking about for 3 years on my campaign, attacking the wildfire crisis will be my #1 priority. And we're going to do that in 2 ways, right? We're going to push for policies that help us get into our national forests, help us reduce fuels and bring back the ecological health of those forests, right? So they can be healthy ecosystems that help provide water for the state of California, that can provide biomass for our industries, and can create a healthy, safe ecosystem for the plants and animals that live there, right? Forest management, number one thing. And the other thing, what was number two that we just talked about? Climate change. We have about 12 years, according to the International Panel on Climate Change, to make a change, to make this happen, to make sure that we can have a livable planet for your children and your grandchildren to inhabit, right? Climate change should be the most important thing on everyone's mind if we are forward thinking. And I've been talking about climate change for a long time as well, and thinking about how our region can become the face of mitigating climate change instead of the face of being the victims of climate change. So working to enhance climate change mitigation policies right here in our North State by one of them, right, is making healthy forests, helping our farmers sequester more carbon, helping get clean energy, jobs up in this area. These are all ways that we can, in Northern California, mitigate climate change. I'm running for the House of Representatives. I'm running for Congress, and I am running against four-term Congressman Doug LaMalfa. And Doug LaMalfa has had 8 years in the House to do something, anything, about forest management, but he has instead failed to show the understanding or the care to understand even how forest ecosystems work. So we're going to cross that off of his list of things that he's working on. And climate change being our second big issue that we're talking about this evening, well, Congressman LaMalfa does not believe in human-induced climate change. So we're going to cross that off of his list as well. And I know I am talking to a group of amazing activist Democrats, and you don't need to be reminded not to vote for Doug LaMalfa, but the situation is urgent. It is urgent in our part of the world for these and many other reasons that we replace him. And replace him we will in 44 days. Folks, we are coming down to the wire. We are almost there. This 3-year journey together is going to end on likely the most important election day of most of our lives, right? And we are going to win this thing. So quick campaign update, and I'll let you get on to your next speaker. But in case you haven't heard us shouting it from the rooftops, we have been endorsed by Emily's List, which is the most coveted endorsement for female Democrats in the entire country. And they only select highly competitive races where they think that their support can really make a difference. And so this is the first big national attention we've gotten. And it just shows that our work, right? It shows that you have believed in us, you have knocked doors, you have done phone banking, you have donated, and that cumulative effort has proven to them that we are a worthy investment. So that is our big news in case you missed it. And in the next 44 days, we are going to continue to ramp up our digital organizing program. Now, we're in a pandemic, we're not knocking doors, but we are still working on reaching every single persuadable voter to make sure that they know to vote for me, but also to reach every single Democrat and every single supporter to make sure that they remember to vote and that they remember to turn in their ballot early. And if you want to be part of our phone banking or text banking endeavors, volunteer opportunities, I'll put a link here. There's a link here at the bottom of the screen that will send you there. But we've been working hard, folks. Many of you have been working since the day after the presidential election in 2016 to make sure that we see change at all levels this election. And even though we are in a global pandemic, and even though the wildfires are encroaching upon us every day, we cannot let up. For the next 44 days, we have to continue to fight like they are the most important 44 days in our lives, because potentially they are. I want you to remember. Tell everyone you know, make sure you vote early. As soon as you get that ballot in the mail, fill it out and send it back in. We want to make sure your ballot is in and counted well before election night, right? We don't want to lose even one single vote, because this race This race is going to come down to about 1,000 votes. So when people say they don't think their vote matters, this is why it matters. My congressional race is why it matters. And the last thing I want to talk about is money. And I hope that today you have or are in the process of opening your wallets and digging deep for the Shasta County Democrats, because donating to them is so critical. Donating to whatever local Democratic organizations you're in or whatever county central committee you're in is critical all across the country, because these are the folks, as you know, these are the folks who are doing the democracy building work every single day, right? Everything starts at the grassroots organization level. And when we have strong central committees, and strong Democratic clubs, we have strong people to run for city council and school board and board of supervisors. We are getting positive, progressive messages, forward-thinking messages out into our communities, and we're building the bench, building the pipeline to have candidates who are ready and qualified and excited to run for state assembly, for state senate, and for the House of Representatives. Folks, building our bench and building up our leadership in our area, our Democratic leadership from the ground up, is so critical, and that is the work that we are supporting tonight. Also, if you want to donate to my campaign, we're still raising money and we still need money. I always have to plug that in. You know me. But folks, seriously, on a serious note, this election could not be more important. We are not just fighting to make our communities better. We're not just fighting to have a cohesive vision and leadership for the North State. We're fighting to preserve the American experiment, right? We are fighting to reclaim our place on the global stage as leaders, and we are fighting for the very soul of our country. So let's get to work.
Our congressman works as well for North State business as this old tractor. But for his wealthy campaign donors, Doug LaMalfa could plow all day long. LaMalfa said helping small businesses was irresponsible, but voted to give away $1.5 trillion to wealthy corporations, and blocked oversight of COVID-19 relief, helping his big money friends pocket aid meant for our small businesses. I'm Audrey Denney, and I approve this message because our member of Congress should work better for us than this.
Wow, were you inspired by Audrey's speech or what? You know, I've heard Audrey speak several times over the last couple years, and one thing I know, she always brings new ideas and fresh perspectives. In fact, her campaign slogan is a fresh face for Congress, and that's exactly who we need to send to Washington, D.C. We're going to go to Ed again because he knows what kind of contributions we've gotten. Thanks, Ed.
Well, thank you, Valerie. Yes, that did inspire the crowd. We're up to $2,425, and we just got a pledge in from Michigan, of all places. So, local folks, keep giving. I'm so grateful for our listeners and so grateful for the generosity that everyone has given so far. So, back to you, Valerie.
Thank you so much, Ed. Thanks to each of you who are donating today. We'll entertain you with a little bit more music from North State artist Brendan Alvord of the Alvord Brothers and Sierra Monet.
We are Brendan and Sierra from the Alvord Brothers. We're going to be playing the song Pioneers.
Safe inside.
left for dead. I'm gonna be the one who's there. I'm telling you that it won't be long. I'm telling you that it won't be long. Safe on this side of town, and the days are out trying to track us both down. But you and I look safe inside with the mattress tell me, is this some kind of dream? Or are you the real thing? Because it feels like I've been waiting my whole life. It feels like I've been waiting my whole life. I'm telling you it won't be long. I'm gonna be the one who's strong. Some days get lost and left for dead. I'm gonna be the one who's there. I'm telling you that it won't be long. I'm telling you that it won't be long.
Thank you, Brendan and Sierra. Our next guest speaker earned more votes for California State Treasurer in 2016 than any other treasurer in our state's history. She served on the State Board of Equalization to protect taxpayer rights, as well as ensuring that our taxes are collected fairly. She served in our State Assembly for 6 years and is the first Asian American woman to serve as Speaker Pro Tem for our Assembly. Her accolades are full of action. She helped pass a law banning harmful chemicals from baby products, served as chair on the Select Committee for Violence Against Women, and advocates for California's working families like yours and mine. Let's welcome the treasure we have in our treasurer, Fiona Ma.
Thank you, Valerie, and thank you to the Shasta Democrats for hosting the Shastapalooza. We've got 44 critical days to get out the vote and make sure that our Democratic candidates in your region, Audrey Denney, Pamela Swartz, and Elizabeth Betancourt, get as many votes as they can, because every vote counts, as we all know. And I just want to say that it's a sad day, and I know many of us have been lamenting the passing of our notorious RBG, but let her be a lightning rod for all of us during this time. She has spent so many decades being that fearless leader when she graduated top of her class at Columbia Law 61 years ago, top of her class, she still faced workforce discrimination and couldn't get a job, and started at the bottom and worked her way up. She was the second female to be appointed to the U.S. Supreme Court under President Clinton 27 years ago. And she held on through colon cancer, pancreatic cancer, breaking 3 ribs, and even now as she removed cancer from her left lung, to hold on tight to make it to November 3rd, but she just didn't make it. So let's make sure that her life and her passing is not in vain. And a couple of her famous sayings that I really like, and I want to just share with all of you. She said, "You can disagree without being disagreeable." And we need to fight for things that you care about, but do it in a way that will lead others to join. And that's just the kind of person she was. She was a fighter. She was a classy woman. She listened, and though she was small, she was mighty. And let's make sure that in her vein, as Democrats, that we fight for every right that we have received as women, as people of color, as minorities, as those with disabilities, as veterans, as those in the LGBT community, because we will not go back. And in her vein, she just also said, "I would like to be remembered as someone who used whatever talent she had to work to the very best of our ability." And we all have talents here in the Democratic Party. I know we're all working hard up in Shasta County. So let's get out there in the next 44 years and do what we can to support our candidates, donate more money, and just volunteer until Election Day. Thank you all for having me. Let's go fight, win.
Thank you so much, Treasurer Ma, for your time with us today. We really appreciate it. Isn't she a treasure? Next up, we have local talent brought to you by the Democrats of Shasta County from just up the hill in Trinity County. Please welcome Leah Annalise.
Hello, my name is Leah Annalise, and I am a singer-songwriter from Trinity County. I have always been an avid voter, and I think it is incredibly important not only to vote nationally, but also locally. I'm honored to be a part of this fundraiser for some wonderful North State Democratic candidates. Today I'm going to perform my original song, "I Stay Home for You," which I've written during this crazy year. And it's a reminder for all of us to take care of one another as best that we can. Sometimes that means staying home, staying away. I hope you like it. Let me get my music set up for a second.
Celebrate
You can find more of my music on YouTube, Spotify, and Amazon Music. And remember, make sure to vote.
Thank you, Leah Annalise. That was beautiful. Thank you for sharing your music today, but also your passion for voting. Let's check in with Ed and see how donations are going.
Well, thank you, Valerie. We just got a $100 donation in from Berkeley. We've got a $50 donation from right here in Reading.
Thank you.
And we've got another $25 from Shasta Lake City. So thank you all who are donating. Our grand total so far for this live event, $3,750. Keep it coming. Thanks for all your giving.
Great.
Back to you, Valerie.
Thank you so much. You know, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand that we live in a time of probably one of the most extraordinary elections ever. I invite you to watch with me this brief public service announcement from our Secretary of State to ensure that each precious Shasta County vote gets counted.
Election officials work hard to maintain the integrity, security, and privacy of elections in California. If you vote by mail, have you ever wondered what happens to your ballot when you send it in? Returned ballots are received at the elections office where they are processed and counted. Each voter's ballot envelope has a unique barcode that gives you credit for voting. This ensures that each voter can only vote once. Every signed ballot envelope is compared to signatures on file for the voter in our database. If your signature matches, your ballot moves on to the next step. The two most common reasons a ballot envelope is challenged are the envelope isn't signed or the signature doesn't match the voter's record. If your signature is missing or does not match your registration record, your county elections office will provide you an opportunity to fix it. When voters' signatures are verified, ballot envelopes are opened and the ballot is removed, unfolded, and prepared for processing through scanners which total up the votes. Results are tabulated and released after the polls close on election night. When you vote by mail, you can be assured that your vote counts and that your ballot is both secure and private. Some counties offer a new service called Where's My Ballot, which provides automatic updates on the status of your vote by mail ballot by email, text message, or voice call. Visit where'smyballot.sos.ca.gov to sign up. And all California voters can find out whether their vote by mail ballot was counted by visiting voterstatus.sos.ca.gov.
Thank you to Secretary of State Alex Padilla and his team for that reminder to make sure our votes count. If you'd like more information on how to vote safe, just go to sos.ca.gov, or you can visit our website, thedemocratsofshastacounty.org. Up next, our very own socially distanced choir, the Raging Grannies, led by our Vice Chair, Cheryl McKinney. The Raging Grannies are an international phenomenon and an activist group in their own right. They lighten the current mood with equal parts irony and humor. And fortunately, the North State is not without its group of own saucy souls to make up a Raging Grannies. Please welcome the Raging Grannies.
1, 2, 3. Okay, we are the Raging Grannies, and we are here to sing a raging song for all of you. Last year we sang a song for Audrey Denney. This time we're singing a song on behalf of Elizabeth Betancourt and Pamela Swartz, because we're singing a song about Brian and Megan Dolly, and it's called Goodbye, Dollies. Goodbye, Dollies, well, goodbye, Dollies. It's so nice to send you back where you belong. It's been real swell, Dollies, go to hell, Dollies. You're still blind, you're still crying, you're still going wrong. We feel the North State praying and the voters swaying and the band's playing protest songs from way back when. So and wrong. We feel the North State praying and the voters swaying and the band's playing protest songs from way back when. So take a lap, Dullies, let's call it a wrap. Dullies, you'll never be in office again. Go Democrats!
Ha! Weren't they great? Didn't you love them? You know, I think they have openings if you're a saucy soul yourself. Next up, we're going to welcome two members of a very talented musical group, Reading's own Cal Brotet. We're honored to bring these two brothers back together again from miles apart. Familiar to local jazz lovers, these talented young gentlemen left the family home in Reading for careers in music. Trumpeter Amon Cal is currently distance learning as a USC graduate based in Chico, and his older brother Joel Cal Jr. is joining us virtually from Los Angeles on piano. Please welcome the Cals.
Hi, this is Joel Cowell Jr., and it is a pleasure to be taking this time and doing this performance for you guys. Co-leading this performance with me will be my brother Amon Cowell on trumpet. We are one half of the group The Brotet. And the song that we're going to do is a classic, a jazz classic that was performed famously by the legendary Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers. And this tune is called Moanin'. We appreciate you guys, and thank you.
All right, thank you to the Cal Brochette. That was some amazing talent. I'm impressed. Our next speaker is Shasta Lake City Mayor Janice Powell. Mayor Powell was born and raised in this area and enjoyed a career in the service industry while promoting tourism in Shasta County. She served for 6 years on the Shasta County Council, Shasta Lake City Council, and now is mayor running for re-election. Here she is with a little perspective on women in government. Please welcome Mayor Janice Powell.
Hi there, I'm Janice Powell, and I'm currently the mayor of the city of Shasta Lake. Did you know that it's an election year? Well, it is, and I'm running for re-election so that I can hold my seat on the city council out here in Shasta Lake. It's also the anniversary of the women's suffrage movement. So 100 years ago, women were given the right to vote. We've come a long way, baby, but not quite far enough. Did you know that only 24% of the seats in Congress are held by women? And women still only get 82 cents for every dollar that a man makes for doing exactly the same job. We need your help to even out that gap. I'm pleading with you to get out and vote for change, vote for better, vote for women. We have 3 incredible women who are running for office in Northern California, but we need your help to cover the expenses that it costs to promote such a candidacy. We appreciate that you've tuned in today to this fun fundraiser, Shastapalooza. And if you could just give $5 to help cover those costs, we'd really appreciate it, and it would help a lot. Vote local and join me as we bring that blue wave to Northern California with Audrey Denney, Elizabeth Betancourt, and Pamela Swartz. These 3 are dedicated women. They want to return Shasta County to prosperity. So, thanks for listening, and get out and vote on November 3rd.
Thank you, Mayor Powell. I've had the privilege to get to know Ms. Powell as we planned this event this last week, and I just want to say that the residents of Shasta Lake City are incredibly fortunate to have her as their mayor. It's obvious she's passionate about the city and she cares about the community. That's why the Democratic Central Committee voted to endorse her in her re-election efforts this year. So make sure you mark your ballot for Janice Powell in 44 days, not 44 years, as our Treasurer Ma misspoke. 44 days. Mark your ballot for Janice Powell. Now we're going to check in with Ed again and see how donations are coming along.
Well, thank you, Valerie. Well, we just got a donation from Fiona Ma, our treasurer that we just heard from. So it is fantastic that she is willing to support us both with her words, with her actions, and now also financially. And I know for me it's important to give to people that support my values and support the things that I believe in. And thank you to all the folks who have given. Right now, we're up to $4,273 in donations. And again, if you're watching live on your phone, click the Learn More link in order to donate. Thanks a lot. Back to you, Valerie.
Thank you, Ed. Thanks to each of you for donating, especially Treasurer Ma. We'll shift the mood a little bit with our next artist, Roy Zimmerman, whose parody music has kept many of us sane these last couple years. In fact, we were able to enjoy him live in Reading just last year. Today, we're going to enjoy a new version of a virtual recording from Roy, guaranteed to make you smile and tap your feet in time as well. Roy Zimmerman.
We vote him away. Vote him away, 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 vote him away. In the bunker, the White House bunker, the liar tweets tonight. The death toll rises and multiplies as the liar tweets tonight. Put him away, 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 put him away. It's really Putin who he's saluting from that West Point grandstand, congratulating him for creating new jobs for the Taliban. Put him away, 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 put him away. Psychotic Lion King. Stop the testing right away. Show's over, folks. It'll vanish any day. It's a deep state hoax. Need some help, don't look at me. You're on your own. I'm protecting Robert E. Lee and Roger Stone. In the country, the cries for justice ring through the streets tonight. But in the White House, the might is right house. The liar tweets tonight. Put him away, 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 put him away
That was satisfying, wasn't it? Thank you so much, Roy, for being part of our Shastapalooza today. We look forward to a time when we can see you together again in person. Our next guest is one of the dearest, most gentle souls I know, Mr. Eddie McAllister. Eddie bravely served our country in Vietnam and is a strong advocate for our nation's vets as well as those still missing in action. Eddie was awarded Citizen of the Year by the Reading Chamber of Commerce this year, a well-earned award for the tireless work he puts into bringing our community together on nothing but a foundation of love. It is a joy to introduce to you Eddie McAllister.
Hello, my name is Eddie McAllister. I am the facilitator of the Shasta County Beloved Community, which is 13 years old right here in Shasta County. As I think about back in August this year, August 28th, it was the 57th anniversary of the Dr. King speech, the March on Washington. And at the March on Washington this year, August 28th, 2020, one of the things they talked about is passing the John Lewis Voting Rights Act. And we believe that Dr. King's vision of the beloved community is global. We thought about also his belief that injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere. The beloved community is a inclusive, solution-oriented grassroots movement dedicated to the unifying of relationships and networking in our diverse community, where everyone will experience solidarity, unity, respect, and equality. One thing that I'm really grateful for is the coming together of so many groups right here in Shasta County working on the same thing, and this is what I consider asset, working with something we have. And another exciting thing is the name of the groups. Each of them have one of those community values that I mentioned, solidarity, unity, respect, and equality, in their names. So as we think about Dr. King and the beloved community, we want to also think about being in a global society where everyone is respected and that everyone will be based on love, social justice, and equality. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Eddie, for joining us today and all of the work that you do for our community. And now it's a complete pleasure to invite back on the stage with me, Elizabeth Betancourt. Hi, Elizabeth. Thanks for coming back.
Hey, Valerie. How's it been?
Well, it's been great. We've been raking in the money. Ed's been keeping us updated.
That's
Thanks
awesome.
to each of you for donating today.
Absolutely. And now it is my extreme pleasure to introduce our next guest. I didn't realize this, but her first job was working for the Democratic Party, which is very cool. And while she was president of her family's construction firm, she also was part of a very nascent organization at the time, which ended up being my first job for the Sacramento River Water Forum. She has been our ambassador to Hungary. She has done a fundraiser for me. She's an advocate for early childhood education and women's rights. And she is our very first woman lieutenant governor. I give you the Lieutenant Governor Eleni Kounalakis. Thank you for being here tonight.
Elizabeth, it is so great to be here with you and everybody from Shasta for Shastapalooza. I love it. I love the name. Some people might remember I came up north to Shasta County when I was running for lieutenant governor. I went to all 58 counties looking for people to talk to and visiting Reading, visiting some of the beautiful, incredible rural parts of the county. And, I also will tell you, I saw quite a bit of frustration up there from people across the political spectrum, worried that they didn't have enough of a voice in Sacramento, that the issues that were important, I heard broadband every single day, the impact of the lack of connectivity on telehealth, on education, on economic development, the importance of environmental preservation. And it was really important for me to go there. And it's even more important that the people who you send to Sacramento to represent you are the people who are going to have a voice when they get to Sacramento, which is why you need to send more Democrats up to Sacramento. So I just want to start by recognizing the courage and the persistence and the talent that people like Elizabeth Betancourt bring to the table in her incredibly important and I truly believe will be successful run for assembly. Audrey Denney's campaign for Congress, Pamela Swartz, who's running for state Senate. I understand that the club has endorsed on the local level 3 school board members, and that your persistence is already producing results. And the most important piece of that is ensuring that there is a voice, not just a democratic progressive voice, but frankly, when it comes to who you send to Sacramento, just to be in the conversation, to chair committees. The Democratic majority means that a lot of these Republicans, they go up there and they can pound their fist on the table, but they're not really in a meaningful way representing the voice of every person, regardless of their of how they voted or who they voted for. So what you're doing is really important, and I just wanted to be here today to remind you of that, to underscore it, because I'm sure sometimes it's tough to be in the trenches up there. Again, I saw the signs for state of Jefferson. I understand, and I'm going to be actually coming back up to Shasta, hopefully before the end of the year, as I continue to make my way back again to the 58 counties during my time. But I know that it's tough for you guys up there. And I just want to say thank you for your persistence and your hard work. Someone once said that change happens like a giant seesaw. And on one side is a big bag of rocks. And on the other side is a bag where teaspoon by teaspoon grains of sand are added, and then one day there's this massive shift, and everybody said, well, that happened fast. But the work that you all are doing is important and produces results already, but will, over time, I truly believe, produce even greater results by sending more Democrats up to Sacramento to represent you and all of the residents of your county. I also just want to give a shout out to Jenny Abbey, your chair, and just thank Jenny for her hard work in representing all of you at the state conventions. We had a flurry of conventions. I'm sure people know it's not always easy to get to them. Yet she is really doing a terrific job. So I don't know if I know you just wanted me to say a few words for 2 or 3 minutes. Of course, if there's any questions, anything else that you'd like me to talk about, I'm happy to do it.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. We really appreciate your time today. We don't have any questions, but we look forward to seeing you sometime before the end of the year, and your attention matters very much to us up here. Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck, everybody. It says, I think, what is it, Jenny, 45 days away to November 3rd?
44.
44 days until the weekend. That's the way I'm trying to think of it. All right, everybody. Take care.
Thank you. 44 days is not a long time. We gotta get these girls to places. I know without a doubt you're going to enjoy this next act. In fact, many of you have probably seen their performance at the Cascade Theater or other venues around the area. As you'll see, they're confined to the cul-de-sac right now, but the neighbors aren't complaining because these guys are not a cover band. All their music is original. Please welcome Redding's premier rock band, Mumblefinger.
Ballerina, see you move across the room. Lost her twists and twirls. A pretty little ballerina, Martina is a name, and I think that's really out of this world. This world. She looks so fine. I wanna make her mine. Mine, all mine. Hey. Did I mention that she looks fine? She looks so fine. Good God, I'm gonna make her mine, all mine. Yeah, well, let's have a fine time. Try a little home, a chain, a ballerina, see you move across the room. And all she'll twist and twirls. A pretty little ballerina, Martina is a name, and I think that's really out of this world. This world. She looks so fine. I wanna make her mine. Mine, oh mine. Yeah, get a measure that she looks fine. She looks so fine. Martina, I wanna make it mine, all mine. Come on, baby, let's have a fine time. she looks so fine. Come on, Tina, I wanna make her mine, mine, oh mine. Let's have a fine time.
All right, thank you very much, Mumblefinger. That was great. We appreciate that you generously shared your music with us today. Now, let's check in with Ed and see how other people have been generous today.
Thank you, Valerie, and they have been generous. We've gotten 3 $25 donations from here in Reading. We also got a $200 donation from right here in Reading, which brings our grand total up to $5,973. So the next person to click that Act Blue link will push us over the $6,000 mark. So please, click that link, keep it going, keep pushing up our numbers, get us up over $6,000. And if you're watching on your mobile phone, you need to click the Learn More link in order to find that Act Blue link and to keep giving. So thank you all very much. Back to you, Valerie.
Great, thank you, Ed. Really, we're appreciative of every single dollar that comes in. I'm going to welcome another outstanding local leader right now, Reading City Council member Kristen Schrader. Before her tenure as councilwoman, Ms. Schrader served as school trustee for the Shasta Union High School District for 17 years. She served on the Reading School District Board of Trustees and is a founding cabinet member of the Reading Women's Fund. Let's give our attention to this dedicated public servant, Kristen Schrader, and her simple but important message.
Hi, I'm Kristen Schrader, Reading City Council member. Welcome to Shastapalooza, and thank you for supporting our candidates. Look for our donate button, and don't forget, mask up and vote early.
Thank you, Kristen. On behalf of everyone watching, we appreciate all you do for the area and the message to mask up. We're definitely a better community because of you. I don't know if they still do it or not. I don't listen to the radio much anymore, but a long time ago when I was a teenager, radio stations would play what they called rock blocks, which were hour-long blocks of music without any interruption. I'm happy to say we built our own rock block into this event. It's not 60 minutes, and maybe it's not all rock and roll, but it's no less entertaining. Starting us off, here's local guitar extraordinaire Farrell Torty with Greg Larson and Clinton Kane.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having us. We are Farrell Torty, and this is an original composition. Psychotic woman, out of her mind, like a traffic at Yuba Pine. Call the police, call the police. Take her in and book her, catch and release. Call the police. Homeless dude stumbles out of the park, pees behind my building after it's dark. Call the police. Call the police. This kind of behavior must this system cease. Call the police. Drunks and junkies in and out of jail. They steal shit from my garage and sell it at a yard sale. Call the police. You better call the police. Somebody better protect my properties. Call the police. housing and mental health. Maybe some of these people could help themselves. Think about it, please. I'd rather call some of the agencies and always have to call the police. Unmarked van on the Portland streets, stamping out free speech under their feet. Call the police. Call the police. If you want democracy, you better go back to ancient Greece. I think that was the police. And if you're black, you better know when to leave. Karen's got her phone out, pretty soon you won't be able to breathe. She's gonna call the police. Either way, somebody's gonna end up on their knees. Call the police. There's plenty of good cops that know how to do it. You don't have to bring a military operation to a domestic dispute. Yeah, officer at ease. There's gotta be a better way to keep the peace. Call the police. 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 Protect and serve the people. We're not your enemies. This call goes out to all the police. Call the police. Call the police. Call the police. Call the police. Protect and serve the people. We're not your enemies. This call goes out to all the police.
All right. Thank you so much, Farrell and friends. We appreciate your time. Let's check in with Ed real quick. He's been raising his hand over there the last minute.
Thanks, Valerie. We've had quite a few donations come in the last few minutes. We're up to $6,873. I'd like to remind folks that this live broadcast will be available on our YouTube page, so please pass this along to your friends. You can still donate after this live event is over. You can listen to any of our speakers again, and please share it. Please continue to donate, and thank you so much for your generosity so far. Back to you.
Absolutely. Thank you. This next band probably needs no introduction to our audience. They're dedicated local musicians who always entertain and please the crowds at our festivals, our events, and our marches. We're especially grateful for them. Please welcome Jim Dyer and Kelly Timms.
Everybody, this is Jim Dyer.
And Kelly Timms.
And we are thrilled to be here to support these awesome candidates. Make sure to get the vote out, obviously, on November 3rd, or if you're mailing in, get those ballots in, and let's get this thing done. We're going to play a song called Toast. It has a political reference near the end. It's kind of refers to a time when Willie Nelson was on the White House roof. That was the Carter administration, I think. But this is a song basically about our musical heroes. But this is also a toast to you candidates. Thank you for running, and we appreciate you, and best of luck in the election. Finance paper company smears a man who holds the blues. The never-ending tour, perhaps a sad, pathetic ruse. But every expectation ends up rusted in the dust. Gambling like a drunken sailor, snub the public trust. Hobo on a mail train upon that holds a grudge. toast the greats tonight. Light the mill and work the farm, there's freedom in the land. Words that sound ring true to you, you're playing in the band. Ripples and blasphemy, waves that turn to ocean. I drink in every song I can, proclaim my true devotion. Build a tower so close around, I'll go on down the tracks. I want to hear your golden voice, you always bring me back. I love the fact that cheerfulness continues to break through. I see the kindness in your eyes, we dance the party through. Hobo on a mail train upon that holy grudge. Should have learned so long ago an artist doesn't budge. Prison king, a rotten love, perhaps we share a life. Glowing under midnight oil, we toast the greats tonight. Tonight, tonight. Hold my hand and I'll recall a moment for the ages. Giddy like a weekend team from backstage at Pantages. Liverpool to Bakersfield with Austin in the crossfire. I breathe them all within me now, a churning sonic empire. Running short on time, I hear the rain, it slaps the garden. Maybe a dead governor gonna spare me with a pardon. Or maybe Willie Nelson meet me on the White House roof. Won't you lend your lungs to me? I'm breathing all the truth. Hobo on a mail train upon that wholesome grudge. Should have learned so long ago an artist doesn't budge. Rhythm king and rotten love, perhaps we share a life. Glowing under midnight oil, we toast the greats tonight. Glowing under midnight oil, let's toast the greats tonight. Tonight, tonight.
Technically, this next band is a little out of range of Shasta County with a name that hints on at their location on 299. They do come down from the mountains now and then, however, to entertain us with their great bluegrass fusion. Please welcome the Buckhorn Mountain Stompers.
That coffee's hot.
Oh man, what time is it? I wanna fry me up some potatoes,
Let's all sing along with the bouncing potato.
I'm gonna fry me up some potatoes, put them in an iron pan, with some salt and pepper and a little log, gonna chew 'em up, chop 'em down. Oh, it's breakfast time. Oh, it's breakfast time.
Cereal. Eggs. Pancakes dipped in sugar. I like food.
Oh, it's breakfast time. Oh, it's breakfast time. I'm gonna fry 'em up, cook 'em up, chop 'em down.
You do that. I've had potatoes before, they're good.
Oh, it's breakfast time. Oh, it's breakfast time. I'm gonna fry up some potatoes. I'm gonna fry up some potatoes.
Thank you to Farrell Torty, the Jim Dyer Band, and the Buckhorn Mountain Stompers for joining us today. Our North State is indeed rich with lots of talent and creativity. We're going to check in with Ed one more time before we sign off today.
Well, I'd like to thank all of our donors. Our final total tonight was $7,173. Thank you for all of the generous support that you guys have given. And please pass this on. As of tomorrow, this will be posted on our YouTube page, so please share it and please continue to give. I would like to introduce the folks who made this possible. Jenny, our Democratic Central Committee chairperson, who works tirelessly to put on events like this. Thank you so much, Jenny. Our wonderful MC, Valerie.
Thank you, Valerie.
Such an amazing job. Thank you so much, Valerie. Michael, our producer, thank you for all that you do and for
That's right.
The technical assistance that you've
Yes,
given.
Michael
We would not have been able to
is
do
a
this without you.
lifesaver.
And our Emmy Award-winning producer
Absolutely.
and director, Chris. Thank you so much, Chris.
Thank you.
And let's not forget Ed McCarthy, our announcer.
Absolutely.
Take a bow, Ed.
Thank you, Ed.
And thank you all you for watching and participating in democracy.
That's
Yes.
right.
44 days to go, so please.
Our democracy is only as strong as our participation. It's been a pleasure, it's been humbling, it's been a privilege, it's been fun to be with you today and host our first ever virtual Shastapalooza. On behalf of the Democratic Central Committee of Shasta County, thanks to each of you for tuning in today. Thank you for your time. Thank you especially for your support. Together we absolutely can make a difference in our communities, and that starts by making Audrey, Elizabeth, Pamela, Janice, and the other candidates we endorse get elected. I'll see you at the polls.
It was 10 years after the summer of love. My whole world centered on my mother's touch. Women taught me to read, taught me to swim, taught me math, science, creative writing. But now we're here at the crossroads again. What's so funny about kindness, grace, and compassion? You've had your chances, it's It's time to move over, it's way past time. The women take over, here are the reins. Please grab a hold of them, it's way past time. The women take over.